Hi, this is Dr. Cook. I wanted to cover a couple items this week to make sure that we're all on the same page. All of your assignments that you upload to D2L, when I return them, I always return them with feedback. Now, it could happen that you're not seeing the feedback or don't know where to look. So if you then go to assignments, look for the assignment that you submitted, for instance, the critical analysis essay or the APA skills assessment, and go to where you submitted it. On the right-hand side, you should see where the grade is, and at the bottom are attached files. If you open up the attached file at the bottom, you will see my comments. So in terms of the APA, I've pretty much walk you through and say what you need to fix and how to go about fixing it. On the critical analysis essay, I have also given some feedback as to what was wrong, what could be better, and those of you that make good points, I also talk about that as well. So look at the individual assignments so that you can actually see the feedback, because a lot of people have been emailing me saying they don't understand why they have to redo the APA skills assessment, or they don't understand why they have to redo the questions, and that's probably the reason, is that you're not seeing the feedback. Okay, so D2L is a little bit difficult to navigate. You can look in the gradebook, but I don't think the gradebook actually has the attached documents. So again, go to the assignment, look for that particular assignment, and then look for the attached files at the bottom. In terms of the APA skills assessment, we started doing that the other day or last week. I'm going to put a deadline of not this week, but next week to have it in. So a number of you have been submitting and now getting points. Some people have not resubmitted. You can keep resubmitting as many times as you want until it gets perfect. Once it's perfect, you get the full 25 points. This is the same for all the English classes. This is not just for my class, but this is all of the English 102 have the APA skills assessment, and no mistakes are allowed on it, and you can resubmit. In terms of your interview questions, there is an interview worksheet, question worksheet. If you open up the worksheet, and I'm going to show you that in a second. So to find the paper, the interview questions, it's under week 4, under the career exploration report. And if you look at the guidelines and scroll to the bottom of the guidelines, at the very bottom are the interview questions, or the interview questions worksheet. And what I would do is open that up. So on this, I've broken this down already for you. So you see 2 categories are given. You can talk about communication, or you can talk about either innovations or ethics. Don't do both, just pick one or the other. Then there is space for 3 more categories. So why do you need categories? When it comes time for doing the actual interview report, or the actual career exploration report, and if we look at the sample, you will see that there are different headings. We have educational requirements, job duties, job advantages, disadvantages, communication, personality of a manager. Okay, so if you use the categories, you'll have enough information to build the actual report. Now, the interview is one piece of evidence that you're using. So if you've taken this course before and you had the old course, it was just a report on the interview. Now the interview is just one piece. The other piece is that you're going to actually do some research, and you're going to be using some different sources for the research. The interview will be one piece of information. What I think you should concentrate on when you do the interview is not worry about the actual person, but worry about the job. In other words, we don't really want to get a whole lot of information about how long has the person been a nurse and what she or he likes about it. It's more in terms of the job. What information do you need to get about the job so that you are better informed and can make a decision as to that is the career that you would like to pursue? So it is a career exploration report where you're really going into details about a particular career. Now, the other thing is, in terms of the interview questions, you want to make sure that you don't have yes/no questions, because if you ask a yes/no question, someone really could give you the answer yes or give you the answer no and not elaborate on it. And then you're not getting any information that you can really build into the report. So again, you're trying to find out as much information about the job as possible, and through the interview, you're trying to get that information. So, you know, if I've returned your questions and said remove the yes/no questions, that's easily done. All you have to do is rephrase some of those questions and you can make them into open-ended questions so that they're not yes/no. So what you should work on right now is to try to make sure that you can come up with some categories for your questions, because again, look at the sample here. You have categories throughout the paper. And then also come up with questions that are not yes/no questions. That's really important for the actual interview. And that is now different. That is changed. So it really is crucial that you look at all of the APA materials on D2L to make sure that you understand. I can help anybody you want. You can simply make an appointment. You can come by my office. We can sit down together and look at it. If you're still struggling with the APA skills assessment and can't get it from the feedback, stop by my office. We can sit down together and I can work with you. You can also make an appointment. We can do it through a video chat. As long as you have a camera and a microphone, we can meet virtually and I can help you that way as well. So there are ways that I can help you face to face. The other possibility for APA is to go to the Writing Center. So the idea is hopefully that throughout the course you'll get better and better at APA, so by the time we get to the persuasive research report at the end of the semester, you will really know how to do APA in terms of a good reference page and have very few errors with your citations. So let's look at the calendar together to see what this week is requiring. So we are in week 5. I did have a question as to why there are 2 grammar quizzes. One is a practice quiz or a practice test. I suggest doing that so you have an idea of some of the questions, what the questions would be like. They're not the same questions, but they're kind of similar. And then you can kind of judge whether or not, how you're going to do. When you took the actual pre-test for this, the grades were not super good, but you've had time to kind of look at the material and do hopefully the practice activities that I've given you along the way, and that should, help improve your grade. You really need to get the interview questions approved, because if you haven't, we do have to get the interview conducted by the end of the week because we are on a tight time schedule. Next week, you'll be drafting a thank you letter to the person whom you interviewed. So by Friday, really, that's the last day you should conduct your interview. But that being said, you need to get the interview questions fixed. So if I've given it back to you and said, change the yes, no, and make them open-ended, then please do so. Don't ask about salary. That's a really personal question. Even if you're just saying what is the starting salary, sometimes people don't really like talking about it. Another question that is bad, even though it's really in the sample, or disadvantages or problems. People don't tend to want to talk about their flaws in an interview. So I would probably avoid problems that they've had or some disadvantage of the job. But that I'm going to leave that up to you. just however it is, be polite. Limit your questions. You should have about 10. 10 would give you a nice, probably the information that you need to include. Remember, you're doing extra research as well, so whatever information you do not get from the person, you will get from looking at the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. I'll be posting a video about the Bureau of Labor and Statistics and how to use it this week, and then you're going to start really researching your job, going into more detail this week, and working on your planners. The actual paper is not due until March the 2nd, so you have some time to be working on this, but we do want to work on the planners. The planners are due next Thursday, not this week, but Thursday the 20th is when the planners are due. So I would start doing some research now, get your interviews done, write up your interviews, and have that information ready, and then start looking at the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. When you go to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, they are going to give you different tabs, and the tabs actually can be broken into categories, so you could use those in your paper as well. So I want to keep the videos short because I know the longer they are, the more people probably tend not to watch them. But I hope this gives you some information about, one, there is feedback on all of your assignments, trust me, where you can find the feedback. Two, information about the questions that you should be asking. And three, the overall idea, the overall arching purpose of this next paper is to explore a career that you're interested in. So most of you are not necessarily in your areas yet. If you're nursing, you still have to do all the prerequisites first before you can get accepted into the nursing program. But this is a chance to then, explore a little bit, look at some different areas within nursing, or look at some different areas that you can do with agriculture or with education. You don't have to just be an elementary school teacher. You can be a principal. You can be a guidance counselor. There are various opportunities for each job. And that's the idea of this report, is to sort of let you delve into it. And, I've had people actually say at the end that they've decided that that was not the job for them. Or, most people say, yep, that's the job I want to do. So I hope this video has helped you a little bit. If you have questions, please email me or call me. My number is under the instructor information. It's a lot easier sometimes to deal with it on the telephone versus through an email. And again, I will help anybody who wants my help. You can do it in person. I can do it also through video. And I'm going to send out the video chat link. And I'm going to set up certain hours. So I will be available at certain times of the day, a couple times a week, for all of my online students for English 102. So if you needed to ask me a question, or you wanted to show me something or get feedback, this would be the opportunity between the certain times that I post to actually call me through the video. It does give me an email alert. It's best if you say, Dr. Cook, let me know when you want to meet so that I know to be looking for it. But I can keep it on, and there is a bell that I hear when someone actually chimes in. As I said, you need a camera and you need a microphone. And if you don't have that, you can always use your telephone in terms of a microphone. It's not ideal for video, though. All right, so I will be posting a second video, how to use the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, either tomorrow or Wednesday morning, the latest.